Kontemplay. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Emile.
And we are contemplating Final Fantasy 14
A Realm Reborn. We're never gonna get that right.
Okay. And we are contemplating
Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn online. Damn it, it's different every time!
So I was just talking about like different things that I've learned so far in this game. And also like I might have sounded like I was like hating too much on this game last episode. But those just happen to be the ones I was talking about.
Yeah.
But like I do have things that I kind of like so far, which is I do agree with you on the hand-holdy part of it.
Yeah, it's very
But it's kind of like I have mixed feelings on it.
Yeah.
Cause like yes, I think as far as I'm concerned, when you left me alone, like I got to figure out as much as I could. Right. But like when I'm doing that, like I don't feel like I need to ask you. I didn't ask you actually.
Yeah, you.
Whatever.
Like
else.
I was expecting a text.
Yeah, you
I was
offered,
expecting a call.
Yeah. You offered that I ask if I needed to figure out
something. Yeah.
Like I need to figure out something about the game. In which case, I didn't really. So in
it's
that
very
case, yeah. Because that was my problem with Guild Wars.
Oh yeah. That one wasn't very hand-holdy, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the goggles with the materia on the top.
That's a materia?
I hope. I hope it's a materia.
Another thing I do want, now that you say materia, anyway.
There's materia in this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. You stick it into equipment to make it better.
Huh. Here's the other thing I wanted to say that I like about this game.
What?
You told me that whenever there is a nostalgic trip thing here, it feels really good.
Yes.
Right? And I thought, that's bull, because I don't really feel nostalgic about anything. But I think it affected me when I saw this one specific thing, because it came out of nowhere for me.
What was it?
I passed by a certain thing.
Hi, buddy.
Buddy, stop it.
Buddy, stop scratching yourself. That's Charlie's dog.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I passed by a certain thing, and the Gold Saucer theme started playing. And I was just like, I never expected to hear that song ever again outside of a Final Fantasy scenario. And I was like, interesting. I don't know what it was. They said it was Gold Saucer, and I was like, yes, that is Gold Saucer.
And I think that is because this is the first game that Nobuo Uematsu has taken lead on music since, I think, FF9.
Okay, so he's really picking out his older tracks specifically for certain things, while also making new stuff.
Well, I have no idea, but he's lead.
Okay.
And he hasn't taken lead in a while. He's always been to the sidelines for like stuff like 10, 11, 12. That kind of stuff, he's more like, he was just there actually to consult, but he's never taken lead again. And this is the first time he's actually like, yo, I'll take care of the music, yo.
You know what I feel proud about now that you mentioned Nobuo? Is that I have a nephew.
Yeah.
He's a special kid. He's a special needs kid.
Okay.
Right? But he knows Nobuo Uematsu.
Really?
He actually knows a lot of video game composers because that's just his thing.
Oh, cool.
So like my thing was like the other day, I was like, he was like playing around and fucking around with the piano, and I'm like, hey, do you want me to teach you? And he's like, no, just play something. And I'm like, okay, and I started playing the Super Mario theme, and he just went, oh, you like playing the music of Koji Kondo? And I'm like, oh, I love you.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
He just like went straight for that. It's like he has a better, he has the appreciation that I would expect from like myself when I got older. I didn't do shit like that when I was a kid.
Okay.
Right? I didn't just off the bat know what the thing was, but like who the composers and creators of the things that I love.
Yeah,
so much
totally.
were.
I mean, like back when we were kids, it was just music.
Yeah, exactly.
That was sticking with us and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
not necessarily attached to people.
Yeah.
That's
But now
interesting.
we specifically like, call out, hey, this is One-Winged Angel by Nobuo. That's a thing.
Well, so far, since you're doing the main scenario quest, you're level 10 now, you're like halfway to level 11.
Yeah.
The game doesn't really open up until level 15 in my opinion.
Oh yeah?
When you hit level 15, that's when you get access to airships, that's when you get access to the other towns, that's when the world like becomes...
Dude, help me.
Oh, sorry. Let me stab that thing.
So we can keep going.
Okay, that's... I'm just watching you die. That's when the game like really becomes accessible to you. Let me stab that.
Yeah.
Let me clear the way.
Are we sharing XP at all?
No, not at all. Make sure you hit it first, by the way.
Just to point it out. Oh, I can't put it. I can't make it bigger. Oh, and it's gone.
Whoa,
Okay, just as a quick UI thing, I just correctly assumed. Just another thing to like about it. I just correctly assumed that the weird red dot or the weird red triangle next to the enemies' names means that.
Oh, they're
it's
aggressive. Yeah, totally.
That's good.
And if it's blue beside them, that means they don't give a fuck until you stab them.
Okay.
Talk to this guy. Pray, return. Here's what I'm talking about with the writing. They use pray way too much. Like pray thee, like hither, that kind of stuff. At first, I was like, oh, come on. You're smelling your own farts.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna return the Gridania. Alright?
But eventually, I was like, yo, this is kind of nice. Like I don't mind this. Like it makes it feel like I'm really in there.
They're really building the world and like locking what they're saying with the world. As long as it's not the only kind of dialogue.
Oh yeah, totally. There are Irish people everywhere. You'll see that
I
too.
don't know how to feel about what you just said.
You'll see that writing too.
Okay.
You know where your quest is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's with Mother Mayon. Totally. At the starting area, the first lady you spoke to. Back when I was still playing with you.
Wait, was this? How do you know so well? Is this also another thing?
What do you mean?
Did you also start in this area?
Oh yeah,
Is
actually.
everybody starting area?
No. That should be something I'm talking about actually.
Okay.
Since you picked Archer, you started in Gridania, the forest place. And basically, depending on the starting job you pick, for example, Lancers like me and Archers like you start in this city. In rooms now available. Now you can sleep at inns.
Okay. What does that do?
Inns are just a nice place to log out because it consolidates all of the nice functions, like your storage, all of your previous cutscenes. You can watch them in inns as well.
Oh, you can rewatch cutscenes. That's
Yes,
good.
you can totally rewatch cutscenes.
Okay.
And besides that, it's just really a nice place to log out because you could go to sleep in a bed and it'll log you out, and when you log back in, you wake up.
That's what I was expecting. That's what you did. Okay.
It's super cute. As for guild levs, on the other hand, that's more of a gamey thing to me. It's like a daily quest type of thing that'll help with leveling. But for now, since you're leveling your first character, you won't really have that much of a problem. Your main scenario should be able to level you up all the way to max.
Okay. Also, by the way, quick thing. I enjoy the whole there's a sprint button.
Oh yeah, the sprint
There
button's
should always
nice.
be a sprint button
There should always
in
be
any
a
MMORPG that's open world.
Have you noticed though that whenever you use sprint, it eats up all your TP?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yep. It'll eat up all your TP. So if you're in battle, or if you're like, if you plan on fighting, you shouldn't sprint because it'll use up all your energy.
I do use sprint in the middle of a fight though.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I'm a kiting guy.
But you'll
I never
notice
even
though,
notice because the TP replenishes so fast.
it does replenish quite fast. But in much tighter situations, it could be like life or death. Honestly.
So it'll be something that I'm gonna be using more as like a final. Like I'm almost out of TP anyway, so I might as well use
so I might
it.
as well sprint out of here.
Yeah.
Something like that. But actually, they're gonna fix that in Stormblood because it's very uneven. Because
just for everybody else, what's Stormblood?
Stormblood is the new expansion coming out for Final Fantasy XIV. It comes out later this month, and I'm personally very, very excited for it. And they're doing a lot of changes when it comes to the combat system, for the class balances, shit like that. They're streamlining a lot of things. And since we're talking about sprint, one of the things they're doing is like streamlining sprint, because one of the problems was that martial classes like us that rely on TP, on physical strength and shit, when we sprint, we're kind of fucked. But magical classes, which rely on MP, we're totally free to sprint anywhere.
Do we have any things that like,
require MP?
Yeah. Because I'm looking at your screen right now, and you have a ton of MP.
I know once you're a bard. I know once you're a
Does it pop? Did you
no,
pop out?
I won't.
That's
I won't.
too bad.
That's an isolated cutscene.
Okay.
That's totally an isolated cutscene.
Oh, I got new pants. Cool.
So you're just doing the main scenario quest right now. How are you finding it so far? Have you been like actually reading text?
Yeah.
Have you been So how's your story so far?
So far, so good. I mean, like, though, I don't usually what.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look what is he wearing. Look at this guy. He's not wearing pants.
This dude.
Look at it. Yeah.
yeah, my main thing seems to be like, okay, the story seems fine. Like the needs of people seem very
Menial?
Huh? Yeah, very menial. That I hardly give a shit.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like a lot of times.
Because
Which
no one
is-
gives a fuck who you
yeah.
are right now.
Which is what I would commend a game like Guild Wars for, because more of their quests are mostly their quests are always in line with the story of that area.
Yep, totally. I mean,
Which
like,
doesn't feel like a thing here.
what do you mean?
I mean, it doesn't matter as much because there's no real importance in this area, for example. Like, for example, in Guild Wars, if you're in a char area, they're fighting off some fucking thing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they're like, okay, what we're doing is to progress the war effort one way or another, right? But I don't feel that here. There's like those random times that there's like, oh, pixels are a problem, but like there's also those times where it's just like, hey, there's fungus on these trees.
Oh
Can
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
help me get rid of the fungus on these trees? I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Totally. This feels more like a single player RPG to me,
Yeah.
honestly, because the MSQ or the main scenario quest is really the thing that like shovels you the story. I mean, this really feels like a single player RPG to me, way more than other MMOs, because the MSQ or the main scenario quest really feels like just your regular ass main story of an RPG with like MMO stuff sprinkled around, like fates and like other side quests and stuff,
Okay.
and other people like running around you. Actually, that's one of the interesting problems this game has because of the narrative.
Can I ask you a question then?
What?
Okay. Just because I haven't seen it. Like, what the hell is that thing flying?
Oh yeah, you just disappeared.
Yeah. Anyway,
Am I flying?
I wanted to ask you though.
Am I
Oh,
flying?
dude, you're flying. Where'd you get that?
Oh well, in the future.
You can't really fly up and down, can you?
No, not here.
Then what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. good job.
Okay.
Okay.
What were you gonna ask before we got so rudely interrupted by airships?
Yeah. My thing is, I'm wondering what the main selling point of the Final Fantasy game, because I don't want it to be that it's Final Fantasy. So, for example, for me, the main selling thing for Guild Wars was the fighting system that was so new to me
Okay.
to exist in a MMORPG, right? Something that requires skill as alongside like intelligent like strategy and stuff. That hits me in a stronger way, like in a much more nicer way than, for example, like how World of Warcraft used to play for me before. Or even EverQuest was kind of like, eh.
Okay.
It was just like a wonderful fantasy world. That's what the selling point was for EverQuest when it came out, and that's all good because it was new when that happened, right? But like now, I don't feel like that's a good enough reason for me to be playing an MMORPG.
Okay.
So I'm wondering what the selling point is for you.
Well, since I just started about a month ago and shit, and like,
But you're already really into it.
I'm
by the
already
way.
really into it, and I think one of the big reasons is this game to me feels like the greatest hits of like MMOs for me, because like for me specifically, it strikes a weird balance when it comes to the combat, the story, the group content, all of that stuff. It strikes an interesting balance where this game feels like it's learned from all of the years of MMO design, and it's taken little bits from every little game. And I feel like
That's good.
that's one of the reasons it actually pulled me in so much.
Okay.
If there's one slight I'll have on it, like, I wish that the entire world was interconnected. For example, like in World of Warcraft, that's one of the things that really got me in there, because there weren't any loading screens between areas and shit. Whereas here there are. Oh, you're going up that thing?
Is it? Oh, is it down there? Where
Oh,
I'm supposed to go?
no. You're doing it right, I think. But besides that,
No, I'm not.
one of the.
It is down there. I
Oh
think.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are.
Okay, the main selling point for me though, I guess, would have been just being in this world, I guess. And there's a little bit of but that's for me. But I think there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Because, for example, there's the housing system here. There's actual real estate.
Housing system.
Yeah, there's actual real estate values that go up and down, like based off people.
Okay.
Like usually when land opens up, it's a race.
Really?
Yeah, because it's limited. Like the plots of land are limited, and it's a race to.
So are these
who
like
can own-
instances that they have to pop up somewhere, or is it a physical plot of land that's
No,
in the game?
it's a physical plot of land in the game. Totally. There's that. Like, there's a significant amount of the player base who are super into that. I'm gonna help you out with this by stabbing it. And what else? For me, I really like raiding because that's one main thing that I kind of missed when it came to Guild Wars. And I mean,
Oh yeah, because
like,
you had such small raids, and even when the new raid system came out, it didn't feel as good anyway.
say what you will about the combat system of Guild Wars 2, and like I really enjoyed that. But in my opinion, it was very hard to balance the dodging mechanic. In my opinion.
I agree. Now here's the thing with that I totally agree with you with, because like it allowed too much for solo play.
Exactly, and in my opinion,
Independent play is such a big thing for MMORPG.
it invalidates a lot of mechanics when used very correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. So you like this more as an MMORPG experience because it still goes back
I wouldn't
to the
say
experience of like, hey, you really have to work together in raids.
yes, totally. Because as much as I liked the whole Guild Wars mentality of everyone can bring something to the table, everyone is self-sufficient to some extent, I think there's really just something about the Trinity that works. But at the same time, I'm not too big of a fan of like actually just relying too much on the Trinity. And I think this game strikes a good balance of that.
Okay.
Because everyone can be
fair.
self-sufficient, but at the same time, once it gets down to the really big content, it's designed in the way wherein people really will have to rely on each other.
Okay.
Do you feel like you've learned a lot of the game?
I feel like I do. I did. I will commend another last thing.
What?
Though the whole one more thing that I've noticed, like I still feel like I'm low level, but mostly because I haven't really gotten a bajillion billion pieces of equipment that makes me feel like I might have accomplished something, but I really didn't.
Oh, totally.
So I think pulling back on that was such a good design choice.
Oh, yeah.
Because like for me, like before the number of items
Gets out of hand.
Yeah, it gets out of hand in certain MMOs, and I think that's good for this. I think it might be good eventually for this in terms of economy too.
I mean, like...
I've never opened my item menu.
Oh, really? I mean, like, one of the things we pointed out in episode 2, or was it episode 3? I think it was episode 3, was that there's no loot system here.
Yeah. Everything is just picked up. Anyways, we'll continue this on the next
Yeah,
episode.
totally.
So I hope everyone's enjoyed so far. Thank you so much. Thank you, Emile.
No problem.
This and more on the next episode of Kontemplay.
Bye.